Okay, good morning, gents. Lovely to
Good
have you
morning.
here.
Good morning,
Today
Philip.
we have Bruno Milan, the mobilisation manager for Chartwell's Independent, and Alan Bird, chef consultant. Okay, gents. So today's topic, we are going to talk about making good use of the time during the lockdown of the Covid-19 crisis. So, Alan, if I can come to you first, what, if any, steps have you had to take to ensure that you yourself and your business are prepared going into the future?
Yes, good question. I don't know what the answer to that is at the moment, but what I am doing is I'm talking to as many people as possible during this lockdown and keeping in touch with them, talking to people within the industry, outside the industry, what sort of challenges they see moving forward, and trying to sort of build up a picture. And I think that being adaptable and flexible is going to be a huge part of any business you're involved in now. As we work out how we're going to make things work and get back to a new kind of normal, has got to be the biggest question everyone's asking themselves in whatever walk of life you're working. So what I'm trying to do is speak to as many chefs that I know to find out what they're up to, how they're keeping busy, are they still working, how they're coping with being furloughed if that's the case. And it's difficult. Some of them being quite creative. There's Elliot Grover, who works at Duck and Waffle. They started to do a delivery service, which is good. I sort of spoke to him about the challenges that sort of present. Obviously, social distancing in the kitchen, deliveries. I think that one of the things that has come out of it is talking to suppliers, and suppliers have been adaptive as well in doing home delivery, and that's one of the things that I've tried to share as much as possible. And one of the things right at the beginning of this lockdown was I got asked a question by Ninoshka Leopard, who's the HR director of Corbin and King restaurants, and she'd seen that I'd been sharing these posts on social media. So literally I just sent her a whole list of links to all the suppliers that I've been speaking to, so that their staff could access that, and if they wanted to order a veg box to be delivered to their home, or meat or fish or dairy or deli, whatever, there was a list there of things to get in touch with. But really it's sort of I think right now within our industry it's good to see people supporting each other, and if there's one thing that comes out of it, I hope that continues.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Bruno, how has the lockdown affected business for both Chartwells and at New Hall School?
Yeah, so well, particularly in regard to how we adapted to the lockdown and how we just manage it. So the schools, as you would expect, basically reduced all their staffing levels, whether it's in the catering department or the school itself, and it's just basically skeleton service at the moment. But in regard to adapting to the new change and what do we do with our time is really basically just reviewing all our processes, reviewing our risk assessment, reviewing all our training for the team who are in place, but also for the teams who are furloughed, just to make sure that we can be in touch with them, and also to make sure that they also feel that they have a certain level of training when they get back to work. So that's a key really issue that people will feel when business are coming back, is especially for skills training or health safety area, where with the virus and the situation now will be sort of almost the number one sort of worry by all our clients. we've got to make sure they're all ready to come back and hit the ground running, really. And if they've obviously been furloughed for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you can imagine that there will be a little bit of a rusty start to the operations, that we need to just make sure we avoid that. The other things we've done is, while at Newhall, for instance, in Chelmsford, we created a little retail shops to try and use our suppliers to not only support key workers of the school, but also to offer a service to the school, in a sense of, as we get and we still continue to have full supplies and full essentials of items, supplies within our stocks. We work with a company called Foodbuy, who is directly linked with Breaks, our main supplier. And we've never had run out of flours, eggs, sugar, or anything else. And as you can tell, nowadays, what has been sort of in the up is baking at home. And by having the supplies to be able to supply some of our key workers with the right ingredient at a very small price, and also to avoid for them to adventure themselves in shops and queue up, we've basically set up retail shops within the school, and created also, our chefs has been really creative in putting some recipes together, and the ingredients who goes with the recipes, so that they can go and try to make themselves that recipe for themselves. And we all started that situation, that element, by offering a starter that you make for sourdough bread. So we created a starter, and then we offered it to the school with a bread loaf that we've cooked as well. So we've cooked about 120 loaf, and we just distributed it to the schools and the key worker kids. We've asked them to go on social media and repost their pictures of their own sourdough bread themselves, and that's created a bit of a momentum and almost a little group amongst WhatsApp, and it's all over the social media feeds as well, which is great. It's a great initiative for us to do. We've opened it to so that starter, we've asked the school and the key workers and everyone else is to offer small donations for the UK charities. I don't know if you're aware of a 2.6 challenge. This is basically a charity, a group of charities got together to try and save the UK charities. As you can tell, as you can see, all the UK charities are not operating. The London Marathon has been cancelled, and every other places. London Marathons generate £68 million worth of revenue for the charities normally, all charities, and that doesn't happen anymore. Sadly, all the money that people are raising now is not sadly, it's sadly rightly so. It's for the NHS, but everyone else who needs support, every other small charity who needs support, do not get the support. So if you go online and then type 2.6, we are basically supporting the numbers of charity. One of them is Kelly Holmes Trust, and basically that's what we've been doing. We've been trying to use our times, our effort to do sort of this sort of creative work around managing our times effectively, and also making bread, but also we've done a barbecue, a lovely barbecue as well, to support our workers here with a social distancing buddy. I've created videos of it. They're all on social medias. If you want to tag me, and you'll probably find me either on Twitter or LinkedIn or anyone else. And then we've got yesterday we've done a rainbow food display. We've asked the school pupils to do some rainbow drawings, just so that they show their care, and we show basically our support for the NHS. So yes, a lot of I would say positive, and try to be sort of more like on the side of just trying to create something from nothing, really, in a sense of what we never had before. and make it a positive impact, basically.
No, that all sounds fantastic, and like you say, taking the positives out of the situation that we're in. And Alan, yourself, how has the lockdown affected your business, or has it gone the opposite way? Have you had more inquiries for support?
Well, my business has sort of dried up as a outcome of this crisis in many ways. So I've had to be creative and look to see how I can help other people. And I think, as I said earlier, it's very much about sowing seeds for when we do reopen, because I think if you're seen to be helping people, I'm not looking for people to pay me. I'm giving my advice to people who are friends and colleagues or ex-colleagues of mine I've known for years. And I'm a human being. I feel for them the same way as I feel for anyone who's going through a tough time. So to be able to give some advice to someone and see them make good use of it has been brilliant. One chef in particular, he started his own business a couple of years ago, as similar to my business, and he's adapted by doing meal kits that can be delivered to people's homes. He puts instructions in there how to put the meal together. So essentially, you're getting a 4-course meal for 4 people or a family that you can recreate in your own home, and of a restaurant standard. And I think that stuff like that is going to be where we've got to look to, really, as Bruno touched upon, sort of take-out meals and pre-made meals or meal kits that you put together. They're nothing new, but they're going to become more prevalent as we try to adapt to a way forward to get out of this crisis. So, giving advice to people on that. Also talking to the people who are, my other clients, trying to sort of get a feel for how they feel they can change and adapt to the challenges ahead. And also talking to events companies that I've worked with over the years. They're, as I said sort of before, they're trying to supply meals to NHS and homeless foundations, but again, they need to get hold of ingredients that are not exactly easy to get hold of at the moment. Bread and flour, stuff like that. Yeast, in particular, yeast seems to be like gold dust at the moment. So trying to get hold of that for different people. And then again, with my client down in the West Country, they've got meat in their cold storage that's not going anywhere because other than the meal kits or boxes that are going out, they need to move that on. So managed to put them in touch with the events company, have used that for the meals that go to NHS and homeless, which is great. We've moved it, and everyone's happy to be part of that process. So there's lots of challenges ahead, and I think it's good. I think it makes us all work a little bit harder and be a bit more creative, and see what we can do to make this work for all of us.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with all of that. That sounds good. All right, gents. Well, thank you very much for that. That's the end of those questions. But both stay safe and take care, and we'll see you again soon.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Alan.